Hello and welcome back. I'm Mark Reynolds and I'm back with Sarah Chen, and today we bring you the second episode in our series Saving Nora. When we left Nora in our last episode, she had just been abducted and awakened to find herself in a luxurious prison, face to face with her father, the man who had abandoned her to her stepmother's abuse.
And he had just dropped a bombshell about her mother not being who Nora thought she was.
Let's pick up the story from there. What happened next, Sarah?
Well, Mark, even after this mysterious truth about Nora's mother came out, her father went back to his usual ways. He made sure she couldn't leave the mansion and acted like she didn't exist, just like he had done all through her childhood.
So she escaped one cage only to end up in another.
Exactly. But something else was happening to Nora's body. After staying in the mansion for a few days, she started feeling nauseous and had sharp stomach pain.
And her father's response?
He didn't care at all. Whenever she tried to talk about her symptoms, he just ignored her. This wasn't new. He had always been like this. Her pain never really mattered to him.
So what did she do?
She took a big risk. Even though she was almost like a prisoner, she somehow sneaked out one night and reached a nearby hospital.
Thank God she went to see a doctor.
And there she got news that changed her life forever. The doctor told her she was pregnant, with twins.
Wait, what? No. What's happening here? But how?
Nora was completely shocked too because she had never been in a relationship with any man.
Let's pause here because this is such a pivotal moment. This pregnancy revelation is perhaps the most shocking twist in Nora's story so far.
Exactly. What makes it even scarier is that Nora had no clue how this even happened. The thought itself is chilling. Somewhere during her captivity, or even before that, something was done to her without her knowing or agreeing to it.
This adds another layer of violation to what she had already endured.
It does. And it creates an immediate crisis for Nora. She instantly realized that if her father discovered her pregnancy, he would use it against her. Or worse, use her babies as pawns in whatever game he was playing.
So the stakes suddenly became much higher.
Exponentially higher. Now she wasn't just fighting for herself, but for two innocent lives inside her.
Let's move forward in the timeline. The story takes another dramatic turn when Nora's father arranges for her to attend an event at the Grey Mansion. What was happening there?
This is where the power dynamics at play become clear. The Greys were an influential family in the city. Nora's father, Henry Smith, had arranged for either Nora or her half-sister Angela to marry Anthony Grey, cementing a business alliance between the families.
So Nora was essentially being traded like a commodity.
Precisely. To these men, she wasn't a person with agency or feelings. She was an asset to be leveraged. And when she arrived at the Grey Mansion, she immediately felt out of place among the luxury and power games happening around her.
And Anthony Grey wasn't exactly enthusiastic about this arrangement either.
Not at all. Nora overheard him speaking disparagingly about both her and her half-sister, making it clear he wanted no part in this arranged marriage.
But then another key character enters the picture.
Yes, Justin Hunt, the same mysterious man from the diner who had tried to save her during the abduction. He was known as the Cash King, clearly a powerful figure whose mere presence changed the energy in the room.
And then old Mr. Grey makes his announcement.
In a shocking twist, he declares that Nora, not Angela, will be the one to carry the heir to the Grey Empire. The implication here is chilling.
Particularly given that Nora was already pregnant.
No one at the party had a clue. Nora was shocked and tried to run, but her father grabbed her and forced her back into the ballroom. To make things worse, her half-sister Angela even shoved her, proving just how heartless her own family was.
And who catches her?
Justin Hunt. There's this moment where their eyes meet and Nora pleads with him for help before fainting from the stress and trauma of the situation.
When she regains consciousness, she's in a hospital room, and her father is there with devastating news.
Yes, her pregnancy has been discovered, throwing her father's plans into chaos. His response is fury, not concern. He sees her pregnancy as a betrayal, something that has ruined everything.
What happens next is truly disturbing.
Nora is trapped once again, but this time in a lonely mansion far from the city. Things are even worse. She's locked in a basement with no windows and is given heavy sedatives to keep her weak and helpless. The only person she ever sees is a nurse, but even she treats Nora like nothing more than a burden.
This continues throughout her pregnancy.
For months, her isolation is complete. She has no way to track time, no way to call for help. She can only feel her babies growing inside her as she grows weaker from the sedation and poor treatment.
And then the day of delivery arrives.
It's a horrific scene. Nora goes into labor alone, screaming in pain with no one responding. Eventually, a doctor appears, and she gives birth to a baby boy. But before she can even hold him, her father takes the infant away.
The cruelty is almost unfathomable.
It is. But something changes in Nora when she gives birth to her second child, a girl. Some protective instinct awakens in her, giving her strength she didn't know she had. When the nurse tries to take her daughter away too, Nora fights back.
She makes a desperate escape attempt.
Yes. Despite having just given birth, despite months of being sedated and weakened, she finds the strength to grab her newborn daughter and run. She makes it outside the mansion, but her father catches up to her, forcing her to drop her baby.
And this is where our second episode ends, with Nora's father having recaptured her, having taken both her children, and Nora believing she is about to die.
It's a devastating moment. Nora believes she lost her newborn son forever, and her dad is the one behind it.
What do you think gives Nora the strength to keep fighting in these impossible circumstances?
I think it's the basic human instinct to protect innocent life. When Nora was fighting only for herself, there were times she felt like giving up. But the moment she had to protect her babies, something powerful awakened inside her, a mother's instinct. No matter how tough things got, she was ready to fight against all odds to keep her children safe.
Join us for our next episode as we discover what happened to Nora after that night, and the shocking transformation that allowed her to return 8 years later seeking answers and justice.
We'll explore how Nora rebuilt herself from nothing and the beginning of her quest to find the son who was taken from her.
That's next time on Saving Nora. I'm Mark Reynolds.
And I'm Sarah Chen. Thank you for watching.